Welcome to Popcorned Planet. I am Andy Signore, and truly sad day. We have lost the Queen. Queen Elizabeth II has passed away. The world is mourning. She died peacefully at Balmoral this afternoon, and the King and Queen consort will remain at Balmoral this evening and will return to London tomorrow. A lot of people are just in shock over this news. I am here with Kim. Steph will be joining us in a few. Obviously, she's quite emotional, as I know many people are today. Losing this legend of a woman. I wanted to take today to obviously have a moment there at the top, but also take today's stream to take some time to really respect and offer a tribute to this queen because she really was a legend. Kim, I imagine you took this news pretty shocking yourself. I'm not, in England. I don't follow all of it like everybody else, but I know the queen, and the queen was just such a wonderful woman. They don't make them like that anymore. Just such a all around, just smart, amazing, put together person that really, I know everybody looked up to, in ways that most people don't look up to their politicians or people, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I want to send so much love to her to the family, the royal family, and all of England and everybody who are mourning this loss. Kim, thoughts today as you hear this news?
I think it's incredibly difficult. It's incredibly sad. My heart is just with all the people of the UK right now who are grieving. I am not a citizen of the UK. However, I do have a lot of British background, and I am Canadian, who is a part of the Commonwealth. So the royals absolutely have a daily impact on where I live. And it's so difficult watching, the media, everybody's reactions. You can tell just how many people are just devastated right now by this loss. And it even was like shocking to me, like just before we went on the air, I was saying to Andy, like that there was a statement from Prince Charles, and I had to correct myself and say it's now King Charles, which is just such a crazy, like, oh my goodness, what a mind shift and what an adjustment this is going to be, and how difficult this will be for a lot of people.
Yeah, it was 70 years. 70 years, and whatever you know about or think about it. I mean, that's a long time. And it's a lot of people's lifetime. They haven't experienced life without the Queen. Yeah. And it's different for me as an American. Obviously, it's a global loss right now. It is, even though she wasn't, my queen directly. When I think of the Queen, I think of the Queen, Yeah. And to know 70 years. And there was things and throughout her history, whatever, but more often than not, everything I always knew about her was that she really was just really an amazing person, and really helping to keep the royals, do what the royals do, and keep them all, there was just an aura to it all. And I feel like there was a lot of salacious stuff with Charles, whatever, a lot of other royals throughout that we've dealt with, but never with the Queen. The Queen always really, I feel like, held that title so respectfully. And it's truly a loss. She did live a very long and amazing life. 96. I'd be lucky to make 96. I think a lot of us all would be lucky to make 96. Doesn't make the loss any less sad. But truly surprising, especially since she just celebrated the Platinum Jubilee, which I know we learned about through Steph, and a big event that was celebrated earlier this year. I don't know the history. I want to get some call. I want to let you guys call in, because I need to be clear. I'm ignorant on a lot of this stuff. We're going to be going through reactions, and I'm going to try to call into some experts and hopefully get you guys out there, because we have a pretty big base out in the UK. I'd love for you guys to call in and offer your condolences, your thoughts, as we go through and collect the news and tributes that are gathering today. But as someone looking at it from afar, it is like, this Jubilee, everything was planning. It felt like people must have known this day was going to come at some point, sooner than later. And judging how the news was breaking today, it was pretty clear certain media outlets and things, the BBC, etc., they were all prepping for what seemed to be news that they already knew before it was publicly announced. I've noticed the BBC went black. They were already put the flag at half mast. Kim, you were telling me there was a story of, was it William who was rushing, or was it Harry was rushing out in his car?
I believe it was William. There was a flight that came in to Scotland with a number of members of the royal family, and they all just piled in the car and they drove. And I believe it was Prince William who actually was driving the vehicle, which is not the norm. Usually they would have like their own like parade of cars with their drivers, and they would be brought in, but they just drove, and they drove in very quickly. There was definitely a sense of urgency, and also a sense of the family standing together, as I think they knew they were going to be facing something very difficult.
Yeah, and so what's, I want to celebrate the Queen. We've gathered some, thanks to the headline team and everybody else helping us gather some intel that we can go through. And for those of you who aren't as informed, we can go through, and those of you are, we can celebrate together. This image is definitely being shared all around, but this was right outside a double
Buckingham.
Rainbow outside Buckingham as it happened. The news was breaking. A very touching scene out there as everybody was sort of coming to Buckingham as they were hearing the rumors of what was happening. Again, this is now all news coverage all over as everyone's going to be talking about this.
No one who knew Diana will ever forget her. Millions of others who never met her, but felt they knew her, will remember her.
There would be other challenges, one of the most serious centering around the wife of one of Diana's sons. When Prince Harry's biracial American wife, Meghan Markle, complained of mistreatment by palace officials, the couple renounced the royal life and moved.
They can't help but just take it straight to Meghan, can they?
Well, also, okay, here's the thing, though. I think this is part of why I love our panel and I love this show is that you bring an American perspective, Steph brings a British perspective, I bring a Canadian perspective.
Yep.
Canadian people, for the most part, very much, we do like Meghan. Meghan lived in our country for a very long time and did a lot of things for us with charities as well. So, of course, you've got CBS News on and things like that. You're going to have everybody's going to have a different opinion. Everybody's going to have a different angle when it comes to the Queen. But I think what's most important right now is that we remember that this is a woman who served her country for 70 years and tried to do so with as much grace and strength as possible. And she is so beloved because of that. And everything is going to change. I know I'm already hearing people be like, what are we going to do with our money? What are we going to do with our stamps? Like everything's changing because it's such a shift when you've had something the same for so long. And she's such a staple in history over the past 70 years. It's just wild. And I think we're going to see a lot of different types of coverage. We're going to see a lot of different angles. But yeah, I think we really need to just remember her. It's about her. It's not about any drama or politics. It's just about her.
Yeah, no, well said. I mean, everybody's got an in-law they don't like. It happens. And I'm not even saying she didn't like Meghan, but I just know, a lot of people didn't like Meghan is what I'm saying, right? And so I thought she handled it pretty gracefully. Like, she's got to handle it the way she's got to handle it. And while everyone else is out there, she's got to be loyal to Harry as she should be. So I want her to be. Look, every one of your kids or grandkids date, you're not going to like them, and a lot of people didn't like her, and some people love her. It is what it is. I don't want to make this about her. That's what's frustrating is they always make it about her, and today it's about the Queen. That's why I want to keep it on that. But there's a lot of questions: the line of succession, etc. His Majesty King Charles is now in charge. And now Prince William is next in line after Charles. How old is Charles? Charles is pretty up there himself, no?
Yeah, I think I can look up his age because I don't want to say the wrong one.
I mean, he's still got obviously many years left. But yeah, I mean, that's the line right there as we're watching sort of the news and it's coming in.
Yes.
There's also, I want to go through sort of the plan. They planned for this. I mean, this isn't like an unexpected, like, she was 96. I'm sure they were starting to even speak to her about plans of what happens. And then there's also just plans in general is what happens. Operation London Bridge is what it's been called. And it's been already in the works for years, allegedly, about what happens afterwards. So everything can sort of happen quickly. But yeah, they were concerned for her health this morning, and then hours later confirmed it. Now the family was rushing to see her this afternoon. It's unclear who made it where and when. It does seem like this was a sort of a quick thing that was happening, but family was alerted. And it did seem like, from what I was gathering as the media was reporting, it did feel pretty clear that they were just trying to get all the family in before they made any announcement. Now, I don't know if that means she passed earlier and we just don't know when, sort of doesn't matter. It's clearly out of respect to the family. They wanted everyone there to make sure that was alerted before everybody else knew, which I respect and think was wise. As to what, specific health things, we don't know. I don't even know if they'll tell us, but I'm sure it was nothing suspicious. King Charles is 73. That's what I thought. So
Yes.
he's up there, but he's got years left if he's healthy. But as this reporters were, dressing in black, they were getting, it was clear BBC must have gotten some alerts to sort of know, but to wait for the official statement. Everyone was sort of prepping in the media across for it. And Operation London Bridge is the government's multi-step plan for what to do now that Queen Elizabeth has passed. Upon her death, her private secretary will reportedly call the Prime Minister to inform her of news, perhaps with the message, London Bridge is down, per documents obtained by Politico. Royal House will issue an official statement, which we just saw, informing this. I guess that's to the staff and civil servants and the public. So that was what we saw of the Queen's death. And the news will be announced via an alert on the Press Association wire. Then flags all across Whitehall will be lowered to half-mast, ideally within 10 minutes, very to the minute.
Yes.
The Ministry of Defense will arrange for gun salutes to take place, and a national minute of silence will be announced. A service of remembrance will also be arranged at London's St. Paul's Cathedral. The Prime Minister will be the first member of the government to make a statement on the death. Then the PM will hold an audience with Prince Charles, who will deliver a broadcast to the nation. If anybody had do we know when that's actually going to happen?
I have
Prince
not
Charles?
seen anything specific. The Prime Minister has made a statement, so that part of the day has been
That's
done.
where we are. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know when there will be my guess is that the Prime Minister and Prince Charles will meet, or now King Charles, and then they will probably come up with their broadcast and do that. So I don't know if that will be coming very shortly or if it's going to be something in a couple of hours. I have no idea. But yeah, Headline Crew, if you can look into that at all, that would be amazing. But I haven't seen anything to suggest that we know when that's happening yet.
The royal website was chained to black, as you can see here with a message. That has already happened. A small message confirming the death, and the UK government website will be displayed a black banner as well with government department social media pages. Internally, the day of the Queen's passing will be referred to as D-Day, and each day after until the funeral, which takes place on day 10, will be referred as D+1, D+2, etc. So they have a whole plan. It has, funerals within 10 days. The morning after her death, Charles will be sworn in as the new sovereign by the Ascension Council. And this is big stuff. It's a big deal that now there's a new king put in place. D-Day 2, and I guess this will happen tomorrow morning. So over the next 10 days, we're going to see a lot of press and coverage of all these events, which is a first time happening in a long time. Let's see. Day 2, D-Day 2, the Queen's coffin will be carried to Buckingham Palace. If she dies at Balmoral Castle in Scotland, where she was, Operation Unicorn will be activated. Meaning her coffin will be transported to London via royal train. If that is not possible, Operation Overstudy will come into effect, and the coffin will instead be transported by plane. Prime Minister and ministers will welcome it upon arrival. There is an entirely different plan if she were to pass away at site, but that doesn't matter. But it's impressive to see how organized this whole thing is, as expected. D-Day 3 through 5, Charles will receive the motion of condolence at Westminster Hall and later start his tour of the United Kingdom as its new monarch. When he arrives in Northern Ireland, he will attend a service at St. Anne's Cathedral in Belfast. Meanwhile, a rehearsal will take place ahead of Operation Lion, when the Queen's coffin will be carried from Buckingham Palace to the Palace of Westminster. Service will be held in Westminster Hall upon the coffin's arrival. Elizabeth II will lie Queen Elizabeth, will lie in state at Westminster Hall in the Palace of Westminster for 3 days in what is being called Operation Feather. For 23 hours per day, visitors will be able to pay their respects. Tickets will be issued to VIPs for designated time slots. Charles will travel to Wales to receive another motion of condolence and attend a service at Lindendorf Cathedral in Cardiff ahead of the Queen's funeral, in which takes place the following day. So there it is. How old was she? She was 96, and she reigned for 70 years. She took the throne in February 1952, celebrated her Platinum Jubilee. She's the longest reigning monarch in British history. And now her son, her eldest son, Prince Charles, will become the king. And there we have it. So obviously this affects us all greatly, but it affects one of our own the most. And I want to bring her into the show. Let's get Steph, the Alter Nerd, our UK representative and bestie, to get in here and react and show her some positivity and love, because I know this can't be an easy day for Steph. Here she is. Hey, Steph. We love you.
Hey.
We're thinking of you.
Thanks.
And I know you just posted a video giving us your sort of raw emotion reactions already. Is that up already?
Yeah, it's up right now. I don't maybe what the funny thing about it was that I started filming it and I started fluffing up my lines doing an Andy. And when I then double checked, I'd started off the video where she was still alive, and then double checking, it was like, now she's passed. So yeah, it was a bit, yeah, my head's all over the place. Hi guys. Hi everyone.
Hi.
We're here for you. Yeah, go ahead, Kim.
I was just saying, I just put the link to Steph's video in the chat. So if you guys want to watch that at some point today and support Steph on her channel, please do that. Please support Steph. And
Yeah, or just dip here and go watch and come back. Whatever. Watch them both. Have them both play at the
watch
same
us
time.
both.
I mean, just
I'm glad to
Stereo
hear
sound.
You shared that, Steph, because this is obviously a sad day.
I mean, just to explain the video, it was explaining what happens next, because there's a lot of questions now in terms of, now that she's passed away, what happens next? And there is a big, massive process now that's happening called Operation London Bridge, which I break down in that video. So that was really all that video was supposed to be. But at the end, yeah, I break down. I'm in tears. Even now, it's like I'm welling up inside. But yeah. So that's what the video's about. So if you guys want to know what happens next, there you go.
Do it. No, we were just reading through an article with basic points, but I'm sure you're going to give us a lot more insights, so go over there. But I mean, I want to celebrate the best we can. I know it's an emotional for a lot, but I'm ignorant to a lot of the stuff that you guys, have over there with the royals and the Queen herself. But can you give us a little bit on the Queen? Like why? Because from my insight as an American, she was an awesome person. She really kept it together through all the salaciousness of the royal things and things that I knew about. She was just a really put together, smart, amazing woman who really kept that whole thing going the best you could do, in my opinion. You just looked up to the Queen. We don't have a queen here, but when I think of the Queen, I always thought of her. Queen Elizabeth was a legend. Why was she so important to you and so many, you think?
She literally, from her 21st birthday, like promised to devote her life to, public service, to service, in the United Kingdom, and she did that. She did that all the way through. She was completely altruistic in terms of the duty that she carried out for the country. Everything she did for us. Everything. Even up to and I'm going to repeat it, and this is where I kind of broke down in my video, but even up to literally a couple of days ago, we had a new Prime Minister, Liz Truss, and Queen Elizabeth II pretty much had to swear her in. That's probably the best thing I can explain to the American audience out there. And she granted an audience with Liz Truss only a couple of days ago to do that and to give her explicit instructions for Liz Truss to form a government in the Queen's name. This was only a couple of days ago. And you see a picture of them together at that meeting, and the Queen, she's up, She's smiling. She looks frail, but 95, 96 years old, like, of course, that age, you're gonna look your age, don't get me wrong, but only just literally a couple of days ago, she was still doing her duty no matter what. She did it up to her dying breath. And that is an example of such a remarkable human being, lady, woman, powerful. And she, out of everything that's gone on over the last 70 years, and there's been so much that's happened, different conflicts, times of uncertainty, economic issues, all this lot. You could always rely on the Queen because she was always there as a backbone that you could just rely on as a little bit of certainty that no matter whatever happened, you always had the Queen. That never changed. And she was such a steady hand for our country all the way through. And so, yeah, not to go into too much detail and just give like a bit of a generalized answer as much as possible. That's to me why she means so much to me. It may be different for different people, but yeah, there you go.
Thank you. Yeah, do you feel like because it's like, do you feel that same security with the rest of them, or was the Queen sort of a notch above everybody else in a way? Like, because I feel like that she is, like, everyone else is always sort of trying to attempt to be as good as the Queen. No, do you feel confident moving forward with Charles stepping in after this, or is that a part of the sadness here too? Of like, man, it's just we lost a really good one. Do you know what I mean?
So, firstly, he now needs to be addressed as King Charles because it's automatic. Queen Elizabeth has passed away. It is now King Charles, the King Charles III, but King Charles. Until it's in terms of the name, I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but it's very important to know this. He could change his name and could be known as King something else, but it's widely speculated he's going to keep his name as Charles and be King Charles III. So,
okay, got it.
Just to let you guys know the protocol, he is now King Charles. He's not officially sworn in, but that is it now. Yeah. In terms of what we will think about King Charles, if he will be looked on as a steady hand, this, that, and the other, yeah. It's just part of the monarchy. The monarchy is always just a steady hand. It's just Queen Elizabeth was literally the longest lasting one. She had just celebrated her platinum jubilee, 70 years on the throne, 70 years of tireless, non-stop, dedicated service to her people. Not only just for the UK, but for the whole of the freaking Commonwealth. Like, it's amazing what she did, even up until literally like the last days. Prince Charles is her son, and she will have, I have, of course, ultimate faith in her that she will have passed on all that sense of duty, everything onto him, and he will carry that out faithfully. And we already know as well from what Prince William has said that Queen Elizabeth had also taken a keen interest in bringing Prince William up in terms of, preparing him for when it's his day to ascend to the throne as well. So I do feel that in terms of the future of the monarchy, we're certainly in safe hands still. But it doesn't kind of like get rid of the fact that today we have just lost an absolute titan of a lady. And yeah, it's so strange because we kind of knew this was coming in a way. About a year ago, when she started cancelling engagements, and that was very, very strange of her to do. She just never did that. And so ever since then, it was like, okay, we were given the fact that, okay, she's suffering from mobility issues, and then there's talk that, you know, her health was in decline. So kind of knew, but as I said earlier on, only a couple of days ago, she had sworn in Liz Truss as Prime Minister, gave her instruction for Liz Truss to create the cabinet, sort out Parliament in her name, this, that, and the other. It's just like just gone on its head like that. So yeah, shock, I would say, is one of those things. Even though it kind of knew, it's strange to explain, but shock, certainly, sadness. And yeah, it's gonna be 10, 11 days of a lot of process that's now going to happen in this country as a result. But the future of the monarchy, going back to your question, because I'm going off on tangents here because my met's all over the place. But
yeah, no, you feel
we're in steady hands.
In King Charles.
In
Kim,
King
you had
Charles,
a question.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, to speak to Steph's point of, you know, her a few days ago being in that meeting and looking and working and doing her duty to her country till the very end. Even yesterday, she even extended condolences to our country for the unfortunate issues, and I can't say what happened, unfortunately, because it's YouTube, but what happened in Saskatchewan. This is a queen that truly held her position till the very end and was committed to not only fiercely protecting and representing the United Kingdom, but also being an ally to so many other nations and trying to keep just fantastic communication and diplomacy amongst so many nations. And that is something I think we all, even if, I guess my point is, even if you're not from the UK, you know, she was still a queen that worked to make things better for everybody, which I think is something we should all appreciate about her.
Yeah, I mean, she really was. She was a legend. Dignity is the word. I saw a word used in the chat, and I agree. There's just something about her. I mean, there was a toughness to her. I always saw, suspected, or people would imply she was just mean. But I don't know. I think I was more just proper, right? And just, I thought later in life it was interesting to see how she handled the Meghan Harry stuff. Like it made me like her more because she was coming across more like a grandmother should. And as I was saying before you got here, Steph, if there's nobody likes all their in-laws, usually there's always someone that somebody doesn't like, right? Or there's trouble. And I felt like she was trying her best to like keep things together and be there for Harry. And when all that was going on, it just made me appreciate more that she was just clearly a kind person and trying to bet her best. And that was sort of the feeling I always got from her. We went through some of these. You can learn more about what happens next on Steph's channel, which I urge you to go check out. There's a lot of sort of just key moments of her reign, and I wanted to go through, which I'm unfamiliar with, and I'm just curious if you know these or anything else. But here was her coronation in June of 1953. I mean, my God, look how cool that is with all the old robes and crowns. But there she was, held at Westminster Abbey. Her ceremony was the first to be broadcast live on television as 27 million people back then. That's a lot, guys, back then. At 36 million population, watched the ceremony. 11 million more listened on the radio. Afterwards, some 3 million people lined the route of the Queen, and her entourage made their slow procession back to Buckingham Palace. But that's insane. Have you seen, like, that's obviously you weren't around for this stuff, but have you heard of or watched clips of this after the fact, Steph?
Oh, absolutely. It was literally the first of its kind, that it was televised, the coronation ceremony. There's only a little bit of the coronation ceremony that no one gets to see. And it's just the Archbishop, the Queen, and for those that believe, God. And you see in the televised coronation, like all the curtains just going around those two, so that there's like a private kind of secret moment there. But apart from that, you see absolutely everything from A to Z when it comes to coronation. And bear in mind that, this coronation ceremony, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years old, like every single monarch has followed this step by step, as will King Charles, when all the preparations for the coronation have been set and ready to be implemented. So we will see this in our lifetime with King Charles. There's a lot involved. There's a lot of symbolism involved that has a lot of hidden meaning with pretty much every aspect of the coronation. Even just that robe there, there's hidden symbolism. So
it's like,
yeah,
watching this,
the
like,
coronation was a big thing.
Yeah, I mean, this was like live streaming in 1953 with all. It's like, this is insane, and you look at this, and I just think so many movies and things that just obviously, you know, try to recreate these sort of moments, but this is real. Yeah, it's like watching a real queen and princess and ceremonies and the robes. I can understand why so many people really were just are glued to seeing these types of events, and you know, and the history behind it. It's really impressive. To see how they had all this, even back then, it's wild to go back and rewatch. But we're going to get an event like this for King Charles, is what you're saying.
Absolutely guaranteed. It's absolutely, totally. And then, when it's time for Prince William, he will have the same ceremony as well.
It is putting
the crowning. I mean, that crown's heavy as hell. Even, you know, Queen Elizabeth, she even, it was, my goodness.
She's holding those heavy.
It was during the platinum. Yeah, it was during the platinum Jubilee celebrations, and she actually had an interview, granted an interview with one of the BBC reporters where they talked about certain royal jewels, and the crown came out and was on the table, and she's the only one. She and the Archbishop of Canterbury, they're the only two people that can actually touch it, and the head jeweler, but they're the only three people that can actually handle the crown. No one else can touch it, like no one, right? And the Queen, she was like thinking fondly of the crown, but she pretty much, it's a heavy thing. It's so damn heavy on the head. Don't wear it that much because of that, pretty much, is the gist of pretty much what she said there. But yeah, there's a lot of jewels on it. Makes it extremely
also, just to make a quick comment, just everybody, like, if we see disrespect today, just take it elsewhere. We don't have time for it. So I do activate the mods. Thank you to our amazing mods. I'm going to activate our mods to go in more attack mode. Just keep your mean queen comments to yourself. We try to keep a free environment, but today we're doing respect, a tribute. If you want to go knock the queen, you can go do that on your own channel, your own platforms. Just friendly warning you. I don't got time for it. I see a lot of people complaining. Let's take a moment today to respect the queen. And if you're not into that, you can dip out. You don't have to be here. So please, let's be respectful in the comments. But Kim, how wild is it to watch this coronation? It's epic.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's the scale of how much is in this. Even on like seeing it through the one camera, like this is so insane. Like it's really intense and it's beautiful at the same time. You can see the tradition. You can see the years and years of, I don't even know the right word, but just you can just feel all of the culture. You can feel all the tradition. It's just beautiful.
Look, I've said silly things about the royal stuff, but I look at all this and it's like, I understand this is history, man. They've been doing this for so long, and it is a rich tradition, and respect to it, man. Today it's definitely getting my respect. And when you go back and see it actually happening, which I didn't even realize this was there. I was not aware. And good, look at it, man, the stress I would be on holding all that stuff, but not knocking the crown down. It would be, I imagine, it's tough, but you look at her doing it with such grace. To see her so young too, it's wild. Yeah. But man, that crown is epic.
It does look really heavy.
It looks really heavy. Like, good for her, the strength to keep that. Yeah, it's so straight. Man, wow.
By all accounts, she practiced with the crown. Yeah, yep. Pretty much had to kind of thing, really.
Yeah, there's a lot to it, and this is you can Google this BBC TV coronation. It's a 3-hour thing. I'm sure it'll start getting some more attention today, but it's out there, and I'm sure a lot more tributes and things will pour in. But it is, again, I think part of the reason this is such a loss, obviously, besides being such an amazing woman she was, just the history. There's so much history to go back and learn about all she's done. In fact, there are more moments. Let's go through another. She also, the first state visit to West Germany in 1965, going off this list. Is this so this was in the midst of a decade marked by social political changes. The Queen kept busy diplomatic duties, including a 10-day visit to the Federal Republic of Germany. It was the first official visit there by a British royal since 1913. It was a 20-year anniversary of the end of World War II, helping to symbolize the reconciliation between the two countries and recognize Germany's reemergence as a power in Europe and on the world stage. Yeah, huge moment there. Moving on, she also, I don't know, what is the mining disaster in Wales? I'm so ignorant to history.
Oh, yeah.
It's awful.
Oh my gosh.
It's said to be one of the things that Her Majesty the Queen regretted the most in terms of how she dealt with it.
October 21st, an avalanche of mud, water, and debris from coal mines buried an elementary school in South Wales. Oh my God, that's awful. Killing 116 children. Through Prince Philip arrived in Aberfan a day after the disaster. The Queen herself delayed her visit for over a week, fearing her presence would distract from rescue and recovery efforts. Some of those close, including Elizabeth, including her former secretary, have said the regrets the decision of not visiting sooner. Okay, got it. So these are just iconic, her big key moments, but good on her to at least, acknowledge that later. But at the same time, I see where she's coming from. If I show up, they'll be distracted looking at me instead of looking for survivors, maybe, was the thinking. But man, what a tragedy. I didn't even know about this. That's awful. But there she is, owning up to a mistake. That's rare for people in power. The first walkabout in 1970 during Royal Tour Australia and New Zealand with Philip and Princess Anne. She bucked centuries of royal tradition where she took a casual stroll to greet crowds of people in person rather than wave to them from a protected distance. That reminds me of Princess Diana. Now, a regular practice for British royals, both abroad and at home. The first walkabout in Sydney was proposed by Sir William Heselton, an Australian who served as the Queen's private secretary and was the driving force behind the documentary featuring the royal family to 40 million people. But there you go. She's the first one to buck the trend and be like, nope, enough of these weird glass cars. I'm going to go see them in person. What a cool picture, too. I love all these historically... Well, I'm zooming in. I always love seeing the people in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those pants rule. Man,
They're great pants.
Yeah, you go back in time. It's just it's so wild. Let's see what else. The silver jubilee, Steph. We just had the platinum jubilee.
Mm.
In 1977, she celebrated the silver, which would have been what? So that's 25th year. Wow. There she is celebrating her 25th year. June 7th, Elizabeth and Philip rode on the gold state coach from Buckingham Palace to St. Paul's Cathedral to officially celebrate her 25th year on the throne. Wearing a bright pink outfit, including a hat decked out with 25 fabric bells, the Queen repeated her long-ago pledge to devote her life to service, saying that although that vow was made in my salad days when I was green in judgment, I do not regret nor retract one word of it. Her salad days. That's an interesting way to put it. Let's see. Is the Silver Jubilee? That must be on YouTube as well. Is it?
The Silver Jubilee. There should be clips of it. Yeah.
Yeah, here it is.
When I was 21, I pledged my life to the service of our people, and I asked for God's help to make good that vow. Although that vow was made in my salad days when I was green in judgment, I do not regret nor retract one word of it.
There it is.
She never did.
Well, there we go. What an amazing show. We watched so many clips and got so many calls. We had so many shared stories about the legend, the Queen. She will never be forgotten. And to all our viewers out in England, we send you so much love and positivity. Let's celebrate. Let's be positive. Let's ignore the trolls and celebrate this Queen. There will be many other events over the next few days. We will help you keep updated on what's going on. In the meanwhile, make sure you also go support Steph the Alter Nerd over on YouTube. It's Kim and Nerd Report, Louis Lecca, all on YouTube. If you haven't already, go hit the subscribe button. And if you want to watch the full tribute or all our videos, you can always hit the join button. Hit the join, pick a tier, and then support the channel and watch the replays of the full shows whenever you want. So thanks to everybody for being here. Thanks to all our callers who called in, including Lauren there down below and everybody else. You guys offered some amazing insight. We appreciate all of you. Stay tuned for more here on Popcorn Planet. Bye, everybody!